Praesidus are a brand that I've actually featured on the channel before. I featured the A-11, and today I have yet another A-11 to show you guys. It's sort of an upgraded version of that original watch, and I thought that watch was an extremely good value. This is actually a very good value as well. They've upgraded it with a sapphire crystal, which is really good. It still gets an NH35. This is a 38mm version, and I believe you're getting 2 straps with this. So there is a price difference versus that original version I had on the channel, but they are giving you more. It's still an homage to the original A-11 from World War II. This is a little bit closer to the original size. The version that I featured on the channel the first time was actually in 42mm. So that is actually much larger than the original. This is much closer. I think the original was around 36 or 35mm, somewhere around there, maybe even smaller than that. So this is sort of like a modern size or a modern version of the A-11. Obviously, it is not made by a company that originally made the A-11, so that is something to keep in mind. Inside, though, you do get a warranty manual here, or instruction manual, excuse me. The warranty card is a dog tag with a QR code on it, which is kind of cool. And you can see that right there. That's pretty cool. And it does have a chain. You can actually wear your QR code if you want to. And then, of course, there's an extra strap. As I mentioned, I think that you're getting the extra strap for free, but I am not 100% sure. If that is not the case, I will throw a comment down below. Now, the original A-11 that I featured on the channel was inspired by the story of Tom Rice, who was a veteran of World War II. This watch is actually inspired by Vince Speranza, who was a gunner at the Battle of the Bulge. And obviously you can see there's a gun on this strap. It's actually embossed into this leather strap. So that's what this watch is sort of inspired by. It's inspired by his story. Now, it's still an A-11, so they're not really changing all that much. Basically, all they really have changed here is, as I mentioned, you're getting a sapphire crystal on here. It's still very domed and looks really good, just as good as that mineral crystal that was on that original watch. And of course, you're getting that big crown. You're getting the case that looks like a World War II watch case. You're getting bead blasting and brushing on it, and there's a little bit of polishing on the tops of the lugs, so it's actually really nicely finished. And then the crown, which is not signed, you get a nice polished edge on it. And then the back of the watch, you get a bullet because he is a gunner. And then you can see here, perforated strap, which looks really good. Look at that. And then it's sort of, I guess this design has to do with guns. I'm not exactly sure what this is, but if I do find out, I will put that in the comments down below. And then, of course, you're getting a buckle on here that is bead blasted, sort of matches the case. Now, really, it's the dial. The dial, you have a very simple dial, obviously World War II inspired. You're getting a railroad track around the outside, 12-hour track on the inside, 60-minute track on the outside. You get these sort of cathedral hands, very similar, again, to the watch that I have on my wrist. This is a perforated strap. It's leather. It's very soft. Very different from the strap that came on the original A-11 as well. So this is a 38mm watch, as I mentioned, so it is also much smaller than that original watch. So 37.4, 37.6. It is an automatic watch. 12.7mm. You're getting the NH35. If you catch that bullet, it's a little bit thicker than that, 14.4, but I don't think that would matter in the actual wearability of the watch. 6.9mm crown, which is really nice. Drilled lugs, and then the lug to lug on here is a pretty wearable 45.5. So this would be very good for people with smaller wrists even. You do get a screwed-in case back as well. You get 100 meters of water resistance. One of the nicest aspects of this watch is definitely the crystal. As you can see, it is really, really high and very, very nice. You get silver hands on here with like a faux patina. I'm not sure how the lume is on this watch. I believe that original A-11 that I had on the channel, the one that I have on my wrist, actually had pretty good lume. So we will do a quick lume shot at the end. But let me quickly show you the watch that I have on my wrist, and then I'm going to show it to you next to this watch as well. So as I mentioned, this is like a 42mm watch. It's essentially the same exact case. You're getting blue AR coating on the 42mm. Let me show you that very quickly, because you don't get as much AR coating on this new 38mm version, on the new Vince Speranza version. I'm not sure why. I kind of like that blue coating, but some people, I guess, don't like it, but you don't really need it. As you can see, both of them have really good visibility. I'm sure that there is some sort of AR coating on here. It might be a clear version. Maybe it's on the underside, so you're not getting that bluish hue. You are getting the exact same hands, as you can see. So the hands are basically carried over. The case is basically the same. The only difference is the sapphire crystal. The sapphire crystal on here is a little bit boxed as well. It's a little bit more or less like I guess a domed and boxed sapphire crystal, where this one is just really, really domed and slightly boxed. Anyway, let me throw the 38mm Vince Speranza on my wrist. So this strap is actually really interesting. It's very long as well, so you can see putting it on my wrist, there's actually a pretty good amount of strap left over. But it is hard to find a spot there. It is soft. I will give it that. It's very, very soft and very nice. There you go. So there it is on my 7.5-inch wrist. It wears like a 38mm watch. It's not a thick watch. I think this would wear really well on people's wrists, even if they have a much smaller wrist than mine. Very quickly, let's talk about price and then do a quick Loom Shot. So the price on this watch is $275 with the NH35. They're also offering a version with a Sellita movement in it. I believe it's an SW200, and they're charging more for that. I think they're charging around $375 or $475, somewhere around there. But you're getting the exact same case back. The only difference is that you're getting the Sellita SW200. I'm not sure if it's actually worth it for the upgrade because I believe that the finishing, the case, the sapphire crystal, everything is exactly the same. The only thing you're getting that is an upgrade is that movement, and then they're including a box, so it's like a display box. So if that's important to you, then yes, maybe the extra $100 or $200 is worth it. But in my opinion, I think I would go for the NH35 version because it's cheaper and really there is no visible difference between the two watches. Anyway, very quickly, let me turn off the lights and do a Loom Shot for this watch. I believe the Loom should be good, but let's check it out. There you go. Loom, not so bad. Not so great either. I think it's a little bit light on the indices, but the hands are pretty decently applied with Loom. It does fade pretty quickly, so that is something to keep in mind, but it is a $275 watch. I think the price is right for the specs with the NH35, sapphire crystal, the Loom as it is. I think that's a pretty good price. Plus you're getting a pretty interesting strap and a really nice design overall. Very interesting military inspired watch, inspired by the A-11 obviously, so pretty cool World War II inspiration. Something to note though is that the previous version, when I did a video on that 42mm version, there were some logistical issues getting watches to people. And a lot of people did complain about that in the comments down below in that video. So check out that video. I believe that most of those people, or all of those people, did get their watches eventually. It was just slow going in the beginning. That was when they were a new brand. I would imagine they have some of those kinks worked out, or at least hopefully they do. So that is something to note. Anyway, besides that, I think this is a pretty cool watch, especially considering the price. I like the story behind it. Definitely check out their website. I will put a link down below. Please also don't forget to like and subscribe, hit that bell icon. It is super helpful for the channel and I very much appreciate it. Please follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is WatchChrisBlog, all one word. I have some links in the description. Those links are to Amazon. If you click those links and buy anything, it helps support the channel. It doesn't cost you anything extra. However, I very much appreciate it. Anyway, thank you for logging on. I'll catch you guys in the next video.